Hi YouTube, Chris here for Tech Tablets. Hope you're having a good day. Got here in front of me the Teclast X2 Pro. Now I've been using this tablet now for just over 10 days and it's been really good. I've been enjoying this tablet. As you can see, it's got one of those flip keyboard slash cases that come with it. Just got that docked at the moment to the tablet. And this tablet retails for around about 400 and something US in China. So when you export this, there's only sellers from AliExpress that are selling this at the moment. It originally comes installed just with Windows 10 in Chinese, and a lot of sellers will try and install English for you. And my seller in this case actually pirated Windows 10 for me, which was very nice of him, and installed a virus. There was some kind of weird Trojan that was taking over my computer there, trying to create shortcuts, and hopefully there was no backdoor entrances or anything like that to the tablet. So the whole thing is one neat package there when it's all docked. You have the keyboard itself all in one there, and it gives a little bit of protection to the tablet there. Now it's quite heavy. If you want to walk around with this and you're going to take this on campus or something, then be prepared to carry a 1.3 kilo slab of a tablet with you. So it's pretty heavy. It weighs 851 grams, just the tablet itself. Now that's 50 grams heavier than the Surface 3 Pro, to put that in perspective there. And it does attract a lot of dust. You can probably see in the camera here, there's a few little smudgy marks and things and whatnot, dust that's getting picked up because it does have this rubberized back on there to give it some grip. And I'll show you just now how that opens up. So you just unflip it here and fold it back like that, clip that out, and it has a fabricy felt material here, which it feels nice, but again, being black, that's just attracting dust to it. It's a massive magnet, huge dust magnet there. And here's the tablet itself here. This is where on the left hand side here we've got all the action. So we've got a mic, DC in, two USB 3 ports, the key feature I feel of this tablet, and then we have of course a micro SD card slot. Runs at full speed, so you can run a high-speed card in there and you can take advantage of that. Micro HDMI, and then we have a audio output here, 3.5mm, the standard. And there are speakers here, left and right, which I will show you later on in this video review here. Now there's a 5 megapixel rear camera, takes very average photos. And so the tablet, okay, the tablet itself will fold back like here. You can see the screen's just come on because it does include a hall sensor. So there's a magnet within the keyboard dock here. So once that's docked, it will put the tablet into sleep mode there. And you can see the way it is, you can't get any great angle on that on the keyboard dock. So if I was to try and just move this back a little bit like I explained in my unboxing videos, it's gonna flop and fall down. So you've only got that one fixed angle, unfortunately. So you're either going to like it or hate it, but you're stuck with it. Now the keyboard itself, if I just undock that here and put the tablet aside, is actually much higher quality than I assumed it would have been. I just thought maybe it could be a little bit tacky and cheap feeling, but this is actually a really good keyboard. And it has kind of surprised me. Very good to type on. And being, of course, lying flat on a desk, that when you type on there, there's no flex, there's no bounce, there's none of that. Relatively, as you can hear, relatively quiet keyboard as well. It's not noisy like the Asus T100 HA keyboard that I have at the moment. It's quite a noisy, plasticky keyboard. This isn't too bad. Now, it is a matte plastic finish here. We do have a rather large touchpad that is okay. Personally, I don't use touchpads too much. I prefer the mouse. It's just a lot easier, and now because we've got two full USB ports there, very easy to plug in a mouse receiver there. And it does have a left and right hardware clicks there, and incorporates of course a few shortcuts, Windows button. There are a few shortcuts here, media shortcuts up the top here for your music, videos, whatever, you can play that. We have homepage up. There is a print screen button as well. So the tablet is a Core M, has the 5Y10. They can clock up to 2 gigahertz, and it's a tablet that's really based at professionals. I think they're aiming for that sector there. They're marketing this. This is their premium tablet, Teclast, their Core M, their fastest tablet, and they're aiming for people that want the stylus, people that want a good experience, typing experience, and something relatively portable and not as large as the X1 Pro which is a 12.2 inch tablet with the high resolution screen. This one, of course, a little bit smaller, a nice surface style type cover here. So just going to show you the screen of the tablet, and you can see, hopefully on the video, you see that reflection. There's a lot of reflection. Sorry about that in the video. You can see there's a good gap here, approximately 1 millimeter, over 1 millimeter. That is, of course, because this is not a laminated display. It has a screen protector already pre-applied to it. The screen itself, 1080p, it offers good viewing angles, but because of that reflection, I've got the brightness right down here at the moment, because of the reflection on it, it does tend to, and being a non-laminated display, is very susceptible to that. So if you're going to be using this in bright environments, I would be a little bit wary of getting a tablet like this. If you're going to be in really bright environments, the brightness is one of the downsides of this tablet. The screen brightness gets up to 285 lux, which is okay, but I wish it was just a few steps higher. This is 100% brightness. Now the camera is adjusting to the image there with a sensor, so it probably doesn't look as bright on the video as it does in person. But there is a big gap that I wish these manufacturers would start to use laminated displays. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. Now another thing to notice is also this screen protector does get scratched up, just like the Chewy VI10. It's plastic against plastic. Now if you had a tempered glass protector on top of this, or the glass was a Gorilla Glass, then we probably wouldn't even need the screen protector. So having that docked and the keyboard all up, even though you'll clip it all down and everything like this, during transit in a bag, it's going to move around a little. This is going to move it around, and it does scratch up the screen cover a little bit there, which is kind of annoying. So you probably want to buy some more screen protectors or get a tempered glass one. Now Teclast does include in the box an actual extra screen protector, probably because they're aware of that issue, that it's going to get a little bit scratched up. So that's one of my minor complaints there with the tablet there. The screen could be a little brighter. I really wish it was fully laminated. Unfortunately, 9 out of 10 of these tablets from China will not have fully laminated displays. Only the QI7, the first one, the first model, the 11.6 inch one, has a fully laminated display. None of the other Chinese tablets do. So if I have a look here now, general performance of this tablet is really good. For a Core M, I've just found it to be very fast. The screen is very responsive, it's accurate. I've had no issues there. I'll just run through a couple of benchmarks here. Now if you want to see things in more detail, please do check out the review on techtablets.com. There's a link within the video description. And this score here is really good. Geekbench 3, very good score here. For a Core M, that is top score there. So good performance. Now when it comes to the graphics capabilities, 3D Mark 11 score is the highest I've seen on a Core M tablet yet. That is a very good score. There's a comparison chart within the review if you have a look at that. I also tested out 3D Mark 06, which is getting really old now, but it's a good kind of score to see. This one that it got, a little low, but I'm not really too sure why. A bit lower than the other Core M's, I think. They normally got around about 6,000, but there's not much in it there. Now the PC Mark 7 score they got is a little bit quicker. I wouldn't say by a huge margin, so it's not that much faster, but it is faster than all the other tablets I have tested. So far the best score yet. And also Pass Mark 8 score, another good score, 1608, solid score there. Now why it scored so well is I think Teclast, they've gone with a very good design when it comes to the thermal design of the tablet. There's a metal backing on the tablet. So let's just quickly show you here. This is actually metal, it has the plastic protector on it still, so I don't scratch it, but this is metal along here. And what is happening, I've seen from internal shots of this tablet, that the Core M, the heatsink, does have a thermal transfer pad transferring heat onto the back of this metal case, just like the Cube i7 stylus did. And that is definitely helping keep those temperatures down and allowing the tablet to basically turbo for longer. And if I quickly show you down here, an example of an image I've got here, that the tablet, this is quite typical, it will turbo at the full speed for a very long time. This was a stress test I did here. So it's running the cores, both the cores at 2 gigahertz, and it got up to 88 degrees, which is quite hot. That's very hot. But it held the speed the whole time. Now, what I've seen on some of the other tablets, especially the Onda Core M, the V116W and the V919 Core Ms from Onda, the clock speeds were throttling, well, they were bouncing up and down. It was going down to 1.4, 1.2 gigahertz. It wasn't holding that speed. So Teclast are being very lenient when it comes to throttling. The thermal limits they have set within the BIOS seems to be quite lenient, because it just allows it to turbo for a very long time. And you do have to be careful if you're going to be using the tablet, as I mentioned on some of my other videos. If you're going to be using this tablet face down on a table or something, you're going to have to be very careful that it doesn't get too hot, because it will probably build up that heat there. It's best to keep it upright to allow some of that heat at least to dissipate off the back of it. Now I'll show you a couple of examples here of the cameras. The rear camera takes a hopeless image. If you're going to take something like a landscape, scenery or something, not that you really would with such a massive tablet. Here's an example of how it comes out. I don't know if you can see this in the video. It's actually very unimpressive. It is blurry, washed out. It just can't get the focus right, which is a real shame there. So the rear camera, it's okay when it comes to macro shots, so close-ups will come out okay. So if you do need to quickly take a photo of some text or a list or something, then you can do that, but really honestly I'd rely on your mobile. So when it comes to web chat, that's a different story. When it's web chat, it's okay. It's fine for web chat. Skype worked around. I did a Skype call. Audio quality was good. And now the microphone's down here, which is a kind of odd place to have it. I would have liked it maybe up closer to the webcam, maybe if you were talking. And it just has that one webcam there. So if I skip out of this and jump into YouTube here, I'm just going to show you an example of how the audio sounds on the tablet, on the speakers. Most of these tablets come with really unimpressive, flat, tinny sounding speakers. This one is a little bit better. They do sound better than some tablets I've recently reviewed, but not that wonderful. They do lack a bit of volume, and it tends to distort a little bit. I've already got the volume, should already be set to 100% here. So maximum now 98, well 100 now. And what am I doing? Typing YouTube, and I want to just type some music here. Let's do carbon-based life forms. It won't give me any copyright issues. So there, I was gonna hopefully start playing now. So 2 speakers here. So you can actually pick up on a tiny little bit of bass there, a little bit of mid-range. Mid-range is there, quite trebly speakers, and really, yeah, they're not that wonderful, but they are loud enough that you're going to be able to hear someone with Skype. But if you're in a really noisy environment with this tablet, perhaps you're somewhere where there's a lot of people talking or something, then you're probably going to have to just use a headset. The speakers they're okay there. Now when it comes to the network performance, I found this tablet to have it's got that Realtek chipset that's in everything. So it's just wireless in and single band 2.4 gigahertz. If I scroll up to my review here, I did a speed test. Now my computer that's wired up straight to the wireless router, I can get 50 megabits per second download and 25 up. And this is what the tablet got here in speedtest.com. So if I bring that up to the camera here, I managed to get this result. So 50 megabits per second, almost as fast as the cable. So really, really good speeds. But that is in the same room as the wireless router. Now when I went downstairs, the signal has to go through some concrete walls, reinforced steel, concrete, 2 floors, it's 1 floor, sorry, and all the walls. Speed drops down a little bit there, but that is not the worst result. I've seen some other tablets, they've struggled to get 10 megabits per second there. So the wireless setup in this tablet actually did really well. Not bad at all. And those that want to play casual games on this, gaming performance is probably one of the better ones I've actually seen on a Corium tablet. Now there is a video, there's going to be a link. I have recorded a video of some games I did play on this tablet here, testing it out, but it's really quite good. The performance, probably one of the better ones there. I got it from Tech tablets with the X2. And games like Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, got really good frame rates. This is a quick clip here. So I'll just get into a little bit of gameplay here. It actually worked out really well, and you're not really going to be doing any serious gaming, I think, on a Corium, but some people do like to load up League of Legends and have a game of that while they are doing other things on the tablet. So, it can do a bit of gaming. Older games, you're not going to play latest titles. You're not going to be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 is not going to be playable on this. I'm sorry, it's just going to be a bit of a slideshow, but you have to remember that this is fanless and it's running a relatively low-powered 4.5 watt chipset in there. But you can do a bit of gaming and it's not bad at all. Now, battery life. I finally finished my battery life test. You're looking just over 5 hours. That was with 40% brightness. Just doing what I'm doing now, so some web work and looking at some websites. Wireless on the whole time, Bluetooth's been on, screen brightness at 40%. I got 5 hours, 21 minutes, and it did sit at 6% for a little while, which normally does happen on these Chinese tablets. Sometimes they do sit on 6% before they finally power themselves off. Now I think if you turned on battery saving mode, so you went along here, battery saving mode on, lowered the brightness down a little as well, I think you can squeeze maybe 6 hours out of this tablet. I think that is definitely possible. Now those results aren't too bad for a Corium. I mean, it's not a wonderful battery life. I would like to see a little bit longer than that, but for a Corium, the other tablets I've tested, it's around about the same, so not bad there. And when it comes to overall, what do I think of the tablet? Well, this is the rating I gave it. I gave it an 8.2 on the side, and the reasons were basically because of the design. Now, the corners on this tablet, they're quite squared off, a little bit uncomfortable. It's a heavy tablet, and also can get quite hot when you are gaming on it or pushing it quite hard. It does get very hot around here, on this part here. So if you're holding the tablet, you can feel just along this edge here. It's going to get up to about 45 degrees. That's not going to burn you or anything like that, but it is quite uncomfortable. And also the weight of it will probably start to bear down on you if you were holding it, watching a movie. And one of the other points is, of course, that camera that I just mentioned, not very good there. But when it comes to performance so far, this is the fastest Corium I've tested from China. And really, I'm quite happy with it. The two USB 3 ports there on the side make it a very practical machine. And then again, it has got this very solid keyboard on it that means you can get some serious work done on the tablet without having to go and get an external keyboard, for example. And if you did want to hook one up, then of course you've got those ports there you can use. Overall, a good tablet. I think this is quite a solid. Now the price of it is around 500 US all up with the keyboard. This is the 64GB model. Now it's a little steep when you think of other tablets you can get from around that price range, and they have fully laminated displays. You could probably get the entry level Surface 3 Pro, and that will perform slightly faster than this, a bit faster, and of course that doesn't have a fan, and you get more of a solid experience, better screen, better quality hardware overall. But that's one thing you can think of. And if you want smaller, then you do have the Cube i7 stylus. That is a good tablet as well, very solid. I actually rated the Cube i7 stylus slightly higher than this because it does have that Wacom stylus. This it uses an active stylus. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me, so I can't test it in this review yet until it arrives. And the Cube also comes with just a kind of a better shell chassis to it. The housing on it is a little nicer on the Cube. It doesn't have those square edges, and it's a little bit smaller with the 10.6-inch form factor. So keep an eye on that. If you did want another one, it's also cheaper, the Cube i7 stylus. But other than that, all around, I'm happy to say that I'm very, very happy with the X2 Pro here so far. I think it's a solid Corium tablet, and I've enjoyed my time with it. And probably I'm going to hang on to this one, I think, because those two ports there are just so handy to me personally. I like to transfer files around with my reviews and photos and whatnot. So it's good to have there. Thank you for watching the quick overview and review here. Now, if you do want to see the full review, detailed written review that's right here that I've been showing, then jump onto techtablets.com. The link's in the video description and have a read through that. If you are definitely considering this tablet, I recommend doing that. Alright, that's the video there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.